peoples, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the Batman review, spoiler-free review. Was it the midnight release last night? It's time to review. This will be your spoiler-free review. Wow, what a fucking film it was. Also, a bit of shameless plug-in, shameless, whatever, a bit of plug-in. If you want a spoiler-heavy review, come back on Sunday, when me and Chris will be doing the Entertainment News podcast. And we'll also be talking about this film in more depth, with more spoilers, with more shenanigans. This is just your spoiler-free. I'm going to get straight into it because this film was beautiful and I just got some wordy words I need to say. Yes, the long-anticipated wait for the Batman is over, and this film did not disappoint in any way, shape or form, which this is for me as well. Obviously, this is all subjective, but I went with 4 people. Well, I went with 3. There was 4 of us in total. And some of us had different opinions on different matters of the film. So it might be quite a different clashing of opinions sort of film. Depends how you look at it. Or I know I left the cinema with one person saying they did not like Robert Pattinson as Batman whatsoever. And I'm going to answer the question now. Robert Pattinson is now my favourite Batman ever so far. So, yeah, it's definitely clashing a few different people's opinions and whatnot. But, yeah, this is just my thoughts. And I think the film and everything about it was genuine perfection. Let's talk about Robert Pattinson first, because obviously the Batman, the key role, blah blah blah. But Robert Pattinson for me did such an outstanding job as the Batman. He does so well in certain situations during the film. He does a lot of facial expressions. Like there's a moment where they're in the church or the chapel, whatever, a funeral, and it's on the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. And we see the car go through it, and we see the young child and stuff, and we know the Riddler's up at the top. And the way that he's looking, and you can see like the Bruce Wayne's coming out to first time in public and all this kind of carry on. To the immediate looking around to the immediate danger and how he changes and moves around. Just how he didn't say any dialogue in the entire build-up of that scene. And he's just looking around at different points, and you can see him go from Bruce Wayne to what's going on to shit, I'm Batman, I need to save the friggin' day. And yeah, the way his facial expressions and his body language and stuff, it said a million friggin' words. It was he was really outstanding in this. And there's another great thing that he does. And that's right. Again, you have to let me know what you think about this when you see it, because this is the way I saw it. He plays a Bruce Wayne that seems to be so uncomfortable and unnatural to be in his own original skin, and he feels like this version of Bruce Wayne feels more comfortable and relaxed and more himself when he's the Bat. You can see there's 2 massive contrasts and differences between the two. Like when he's Bruce, he seems a little bit more Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne seems a bit more out there, blah blah blah. This was a bit more sheltered and a bit more closed in and a bit more guided and vulnerable and stuff. And then you can see when he puts the mask on how completely a completely different person Bruce Wayne and the Batman are. So again, it's just more props to him for showing that. For me, he was outstanding. Again, from the way that he delivered his lines, the long amazing looks where he says no dialogue, but yet you can see a million different words and a million different emotions going on right now. There's a really, really, really poetically beautiful look between a young boy in this film, that when he's just lost his father, and you can see the Batman look, and it's just like, oh my god, we know exactly what you're thinking. All he has to do is look. So he absolutely smashed his role. But the film itself, again, was just amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful Batman story. Batman's been Batman for 2 years in the film. And the way that he narrates it, we get these little narration parts of Batman talking about, it's Dave, so I don't think I've done this much for the city. Has it changed? I feel this way. And it's like a diary. And it's so friggin' cool to have this narration done by him. And I just love the adolescence, is that if that's the right word? The young age of this Batman in terms of the relationship with the GCPD is not quite there. It comes full circle. I can't really say it without saying too much, but the relationship with the public are scared of him. There's a great opening sequence at the start of the film where again he's narrating, and there's different criminals throughout the city doing different things. And they're committing all these crimes, and they see the bat symbol, and he starts going, my presence is starting to become present constantly here because criminals think I'm in every shadow and stuff. And they're just looking down like these dark alleys and whatnot. And they're like, shit. You can see the criminals going, is Batman down there or not? And they're just like, nah, I'm not risking it, fuck it. And he's just like, oh my God, because obviously Batman's all about fear and using the bat symbol as fear. It's his biggest fear. His fear and the fear that Batman brings has never been so dominant in a Batman film ever. It's so everywhere in this. And like I said, it comes full circle at the end because everybody's fearful of Batman and whatnot. And, oh, is he a good guy? What's going on? We're scared. And then something happens at the end, you're like, that's it. It's officially done now. And I know a lot of people call him Vengeance in this, because how Catwoman calls him Vengeance. Just, hey, Vengeance. You know, I'm just like, I dig this. The whole "I'm Vengeance" tagline's so friggin' cool. But yeah, there's another great thing as well. In the fight sequences, he's not as smooth and accurate with all of his fight sequences. You know, he'll go up against 10, 15 people at a time sometimes, and they will get a couple of hits in and stuff, and it doesn't feel as quite locked on as a fully trained Bat who's been doing this for ages, and he can just sort of take on anything. Obviously, Batman takes a couple of hits regardless. But you can see like the couple of little mistakes are more mature. Say a Ben Affleck Batman or even a Christian Bale sort of Batman at their sort of time wouldn't make one, because Christian Bale's Batman didn't actually go for that long, really, did he? Well, like a Ben Affleck one who's made the mistakes and he won't make them sort of make mistakes again. So you can see, that we why do we fall, Bruce, a little to pick ourselves back up? We sort of see that go through in terms of his combat and whatnot, which is really freaking cool. I love how they just set this out. It was perfect as well because we were going to the midnight release and it was absolutely pissing it down. It was dark. Obviously, it's midnight, so it was dark. It's pissing down. I just thought, what a perfect night to go watch the Batman. And the film's always, again, it's the Batman, so it's going to be like this, dark and gloomy and rainy and there's everything. The way that they film this cinematography, the lighting, what stages they used and where they filmed on location, like they filmed a lot in Liverpool, the architecture of the buildings and whatnot. It just all felt so Gotham and so the Batman. I honestly, truly believe this film ticked every single box it needs to tick to be a perfect Batman film. Again, my opinion, you can disagree in the comments. Again, a couple of my pals do disagree already. But the story, the way that it wraps up is tension as well between solving riddles or solving cases like a murder, trying to eventually get on the Riddler, but we're breaking down a different conspiracy. I've always loved Gotham and I love the Batman because it feels like we get Gotham, we've got Batman and stuff, and it feels like underneath Gotham, where it would be the Court of Owls or the Arkhams and all that carry on, it feels like there's this big ball of entangled mess where somewhere everybody's connected and everybody's tangled up with a conspiracy inside a conspiracy and lies and blood and murder and shenanigans. It always feels like this big ball of mess everywhere, and Bruce Wayne slowly just unraveling it. And we really get to visually see this in this film. Again, we've had this sort of story kind of in comics before as well, but just we get to see how Gotham isn't just plain old Gotham. It's a big, massive web of conspiracies and lies and backstabbing and murders and stuff. And it's this whole big, massive mess. The tension that the Riddler. We'll get to the Riddler more in a sec. But the build up between the Riddler, when the Riddler's coming in and whatnot, it's just fucking perfect. But he's fighting a war on a couple of different fronts. He's fighting the war against the police potentially, for the public. The public and the public opinion, the infrastructure of Gotham, the higher ups, the politicians and the DA and everything. Then he's fighting the crime families, and then he's fighting the Riddler. It's all these different big ensembles is that right? I don't know. That are going to eventually come together and interlock. And it was just so well written and well done. This is why I will never make it in any sort of film industry, because you need to be intelligent to write stuff. And this is why I will always just be a fan. Because I'm shit and the people that do these are just fucking amazing. I can't wait to carry on these films with him, being this version of a Batman that's going to learn and get better and adapt, and we're going to go there with him. I hope we get so many more of these films. And we did also hear that apparently they don't want to ever do like a connection to Justice League and stuff. No Superman or anything. He wants to keep this strictly in Gotham with Bat and the Bat, Rogues Gallery and whatnot. And I'm fine with that. I'm down with that because we know we're going to get our Justice League shenanigans, whatnot, over there. So I am more than okay with this. So you are going to get a lovely, beautiful, well thought out, well drawn out story with some amazing character development and the way that certain characters bond together. The start of this relationship between Alfred and Bruce is slightly different to what we usually see in, but you're going to see so many people. But again, the early days of Jim and the Bat, which is frigging great, and you're going to absolutely adore it. From, like I said, even the settings where the sun's setting or the sun's rising on top of the buildings, overlooking Gotham, all of it just. So yeah, the film is amazing, the story is amazing, the casting is amazing. Let's get on to a couple of characters, what have I written my notes. So yeah, let's just go through some of the characters. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, absolutely fantastic, amazing. I did see a couple of early critics reviews saying it was the Riddler and her that stole the show, but I disagree with that. She was amazing and great. I still think Robert Pattinson's the Batman's the one that stole the show, unless it's because I prefer him as a character, so I'm being a bit biased or what, I don't know. But I was much more invested in Robert Pattinson's Batman and the Riddler. Paul Dano as the Riddler. What is it with the Batman world being able to cast characters, to actors as certain characters, you think, how's that going to work? And then it just works beyond your wildest dreams. We've seen it with Heath Ledger's Joker, thinking, is that going to work? And then I don't think anybody will ever argue or question that ever again. And then we do this, and I was definitely guilty of saying, oh, okay, Little Miss Sunshine, or whatever the fuck it was called, the thingy film, and all the other weird sort of, I'm a nerdy kind of kid sort of film, to this, and being absolutely phenomenal. The intensity he brings, the sheer, the weight of his, the panic and dread that he brings, the mental breakdown side of, is this guy going to snap at any moment, and what's going to happen side, to the end of the film when something happens and we could see him looking through a window and he's going nuts, to the way that he stalked his victims, and the way that he viciously bludgeoned his victims as well. It's outstanding. I am so happy to be wrong about thinking, why have you cast him? I can't see it at all. I am so happy about it. There's a moment when you first get introduced to him, and it's just, his introduction is just great. It's fucking fantastic. And the noises he makes, and the things that he does, and the way that he moves, it's, wow. Just, wow. That was an awful clap. I'm sorry. Colin Farrell's Penguin. And the fact that they went from, because he's a good looking man, I'm pretty sure he's been voted world's sexiest man at some point or whatever, but he's a handsome dude, nice, rugged, good looking, to this scarred up fat mess of a mobster, the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, and he just still went, count out, sweetheart, and all this shit. It's just, oh my God, he's fucking mint. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon, absolutely adored him. Of course, any of you fellow nerds will remember we've just recently had him in the What If series as the Watcher, but he was fantastic as Gordon, and I cannot wait to see his eventual rise to being Commissioner. We have Andy Serkis as Alfred. Again, Alfred's always a great character, such an important and pivotal character to any Batman, and he did a really great job. I probably still would go with Michael Caine is maybe my favourite, but that's because Michael Caine got a lot more time than Andy Serkis as Alfred, but he still did an absolute amazing job. Do you know what else I'm going to give another big point to is the noise that the new Batmobile makes, because I know fuck all about cars. I don't know if it's physically possible to make that car or the Blue Flames, I don't know. And the chase sequence between him and the Penguin was just fucking flawless. It was so good, like so freaking good. Just to hear that weird mental roar and everything about this Batman, the grapple guns being from his fucking wrist, he's near enough. Instead of a Spider-Man doing that, he's doing that. And it's everything about. They didn't focus too much on so much the tech side of it, and I've got loads of money, I can do this. They really did hammer down and hammer home. They're focusing more on who the Batman really is, his true emotions to stuff, and who he is as the world's greatest detective. They really focused in on that, and we can see it. And the combat style as well. The combat was a lot in this, but you can see that's the points that they wanted to focus in the most on. And I just burped, and that was amazing. The big question will be: is it better than Spider-Man No Way Home? Well, I'm obviously not. It's Spider-Man's my guy. Batman My favourite comic book characters of all time, Batman is in my top 5, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. I adore the guy. I've done videos countless times on the how much I love the Batman, but Spider-Man's just my main guy, so I'm a biased little bastard. But actually, to be fair as well, I'm going to say this: DC have started off the year absolutely with perfection. Usually DC and the DCEU and whatever they're doing could be a bit hit and miss and a bit, yeah, but obviously it's easy because when you've got Batman, you know you're going to make a successful film, not necessarily a great film, but you're going to make a successful film. But it's quite lucky that everyone that's done a Batman in the past God knows how many years have always made a successful Batman, so they're always safe. We've had Peacemaker, so DC are really killing it because Peacemaker, you guys know, long-term viewers of the channel know how much I adored that show and still adore that show. But yeah, DC's killing it at the minute. And the film is going to get, big surprise, a massive 10 out of 10 for me. I know I am always Mr. Optimistic and I always overlook and be like, well, you know, nerdy shenanigans. But honestly, this film is going to have a wild ride of emotions. Occasionally you're going to be, it might be a little bit scared, a little bit jumpy. You're going to be on a massive thrill ride. You're going to be uncovering the mystery of Gotham and Gotham's secrets. You're going to be learning and develop as a bat with Robert Pattinson and seeing it all come along together. You're going to fall in love with certain relationships. You're going to fall in love with certain characters. You're going to idolize and fear certain characters. You're going to have an absolute amazing whirlwind of a time. You really are going to enjoy it. And yeah, so it's a massive 10 out of 10. I cannot fault this film at all. I was so happy when I left. But visuals, more importantly, what do you think? If you've seen it already, or if you're not a little freak like me and don't go straight from work to a midnight release to then come home and stay up all night making videos and stuff. I know I'm going to go back to work. But if you've seen it, what do you think? Guys, please let me know in the comments below. Visuals, thank you so much for watching. That was my review of The Batman, spoiler-free. Remember to come back on Sunday if you want a spoiler-heavy review, where we do it on the Entertainment News podcast. But visuals, apart from that, all there's left to say is thank you so much to The Batman for being fantastic, perfect 10. And thank you, visuals, so much for watching. Remember to always keep being you. And keep on, keep it on. Where's Bane?